Good morning, my dear students. Today I am going to discuss with you about the genitourinary disorders. It is comes under fifth unit, nursing management in common childhood diseases. In that, first is acute glomerulonephritis. What is acute glomerulonephritis? It is a common disease in children, and it is one of the diseases that are presented commonly with hematuria, which means red urine. Hematuria. Acute glomerulonephritis in all probabilities results secondary to a proceeding streptococcal infections of throat or skin. History of upper respiratory tract infection must be there in a child. Next, meaning. Acute nephritis or glomerulonephritis is an infective renal disease characterized by sudden onset of hematuria, oliguria, edema, hypertension. Definition: it is an immune-mediated inflammatory disease of the capillary loops in the renal calculi. The antigen-antibody complex deposition within the glomeruli results in glomerular injury, which is manifested as hematuria, oliguria, edema, hypertension. Anatomy and physiology, if you see, usually the kidneys are paired and reddish and beam-shaped organs located in the peritoneum and the posterior wall of the abdomen. The kidneys are located between the levels of the last thoracic and third lumbar vertebrae, a position where they are partially protected by the 11th and 12th pairs of ribs. The right kidney is slightly lower than the left because liver occupies considerable space on the right side superior to the kidney. This is the picture of how the kidneys are located. Then glomeruli. This is a glomeruli. Then functions of the kidney is hemostasis function, and then hematopoietic function, endocrine function, regulation of the blood pressure, regulation of the blood calcium level. Incidence, if you see, it is common in male than the female. Most common in preschooler and early school age children with a peak age of onset of 6 to 7 years. Rare in children under 2 years of age. On average, responsible for 2 to 4% of pediatric admissions in India. Then accounts for about 90% of renal diseases in childhood. Varies with the prevalence of nephrogenic stains or streptococci or livelihood of cross infection. If you see the etiology, presumed cause is antigen-antibody reaction secondary to an infection in the body. Initial infection is usually either an upper respiratory tract infection or skin infection, usually 1 to 3 weeks before the onset of symptoms. Most frequently causative agent is a beta hemolytic streptococcus type 12. Most cases are post-infectious and have been associated with pneumococcal viral infections. Acute post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis is the most common of the post-infectious renal diseases in the child. Streptococcal pharyngitis is most common in winter season. Clinical manifestations, if you see, urinary symptoms are decreased urinary output, bloody or brown, and edema present in the most patients, usually mild, often manifested by the periorbital edema in the morning, maybe appear only as a rapid weight gain, may be generalized and influenced by posture. Hypertension present in over 50% of patients, usually mild. Rise in blood pressure may be sudden, usually appears during the first 4 to 5 days of the illness. Malaise, mild headache, pallor, irritability, lethargy, dysuria, fever. Investigations, routine urine examination which shows proteinuria 3+ and 4+, blood examination, then throat swab culture which to elicit the presence of beta hemolytic streptococcus, chest x-ray may show the pulmonary congestion. Therapeutic management, medical management, monitoring, then bed rest and position. Diet should contain the restriction of protein, salt, fluid intake. Carbohydrate containing food is allowed freely. The diet of patient need not be restricted routinely. Fluid intake should be allowed in the calculated amount, that is total amount of previous day urine output in 24 hours plus insensible losses to be allowed to drink on the day. Daily weight recording, and then fluid balances, and then diuretics limited value when severe renal failure is not severe. Diuretic therapy, usually furosemide, is helpful if significant edema and fluid overload are present. Rarely the children with acute glomerulonephritis develops acute renal failure with oliguria that signifies alters the fluid and electrolyte balance. Fluid resection is needed in case of acute renal failure when urine output is diminished. Hypertension should be managed. Blood pressure measurements are taken every 4 to 6 hours. Significant but not severe hypertension is controlled with loop diuretics. Other anti-hypertensive drugs such as calcium channel blockers, beta blockers, or angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors may be needed in severe cases. Dialysis may be required in patients with severe prolonged oliguria or anuria or renal failure. Penicillin is preferably will be given as an antibiotic for 7 to 10 days. Antihypertensive nifedipine and atenolol. Magnesium sulfate may be prescribed in the encephalopathy to reduce the cerebral edema. Sedatives, that is diazepam, may be required in restless patients. Management of complications like chronic cardiac failures, hypertensive encephalopathy, etc. should be done promptly to prevent the life-threatening outcome. Then dopamine infusion, steroid therapy, and respiratory support may be required for some patients. If you see the nursing diagnosis, impaired urinary elimination related to glomerular dysfunction, infection related to group A beta hemolytic streptococcus, pharyngitis, upper respiratory infections, fluid volume excess related to altered renal failure, diminished glomerular filtration increased, sodium retention, activity intolerance, altered skin integrity related to edema, altered nutritional less than body requirements related to albuminuria, GI disturbances, fear and anxiety related to disease process, high risk for seizures activity related to hypertensive encephalopathy, knowledge deficit regarding care of the child with renal diseases and continuation of care at home. If you see the complications, hypertensive encephalopathy, congestive cardiac failure, then manifestations are dyspnea, tachycardia, liver engorgement, duration variable, usually subsides rapidly with the onset of the fall in the blood pressure. Uremia, manifestations, evidence of acidosis. Drowsiness, coma, muscular twitching, convulsions, anemia, renal failure. This is about the acute glomerular nephritis. Hydronephrosis is one of the condition. Here hydronephrosis is a condition in which one or both of the kidneys become stretched and swollen. Blockage may be somewhere seen. This is hydronephrosis, water accumulation in the kidneys. Signs and symptoms, asymptomatic, and then pain in left, hematuria, urinary infections, renal calculi, agitomia. Some large hydronephrosis can be palpable. IVU, intravenous urogram, is usually for assessing the position of the obstruction. Then CT, 99% of stones are visible on the CT, and therefore CT is becoming a common choice for the initial investigations. If you see the management, medical management is preferably done, removal of obstruction done, surgical is nephrostomy and ureteric shunt. Pyeloplasty also done. It is a surgical reconstruction of the renal pelvis. Then suprapubic catheter. Then fetal surgery for congenital hydronephrosis. Nursing management, if you see, assessment history must be taken detailedly about the pain and ask about the vomiting, nausea, abdominal fullness. Ask a male patient if he has had a prostate difficulty and urinary difficulty. Physical examination, inspect the flank area of asymmetry, which indicates the presence of renal mass. Inspect the male urethra for stenosis, injury and physimosis. Then inspect the palpate vaginal and urinal rectal lesions in the female. Palpate the abdomen to help identify the tender areas. If the hydronephrosis is the result of bladder obstruction, markedly distended urinary bladder may be felt. Gentle presence of the pressure on the urinary bladder may be result in leaking urine from the urethra because of bladder overflow. This is a nursing diagnosis preoperatively. Hyperthermia related to infections, impaired nutritional status, disturbed elimination pattern and incontinence of urine are related to retention of urine, deficient knowledge of the parents related to plan of treatment and surgical procedure and prevention of the complication, disturbed family process related to hospitalization of the child, high risk for urinary tract infections related to presence of urinary obstruction. Postoperatively, ineffective airway clearance, acute pain related to incision and the surgical procedure, impaired physical mobility of the upper extremities related to surgery, risk for imbalanced fluid volume related to surgical procedure, deficient knowledge of the home care procedure, risk for infection. Prevention, tease the importance of adequate fluids, explain the importance of notify the physician at the first sign of inability to void or urinary infection such as burning or painful urination, cloudy urine, rusty and smoky urine, blood tingle urine, foul odor, flank pain or fever. Prognosis, early detection, prompt treatment has a good prognosis. Left untreated, bilateral obstruction has a poor prognosis. Thank you.